Hello, my crafty friends. Well, today I have a very easy fun fold card idea that I want to share with you. And I have 4 different ways that you can use this fun fold in your card making. Hi, it's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this episode of Stamptastic TV, I have 4 different card ideas that I want to share with you, and they all feature the exact same fun fold design. Now, this fun fold design is created with pattern paper, so you can use any pattern paper that you have on hand. Now, the cards in this video feature the Wildflower Designs bundle from Stampin Up. So this particular bundle has a stamp set and a coordinating die set. However, keep in mind you can decorate your cards with any supplies that you have on hand. Now, this particular fun fold design is just a great way to showcase your pattern paper. So first let's talk about how to create this fun fold design with your pattern paper. So you're going to start with a piece of pattern paper, which is cut at 4 by 12 inches. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut off 1.5 inches. And you can cut it off from either side. I'm going to cut it off from this side. So we'll cut off a 1.5 inch piece. And we're going to save this piece because we will decorate the inside of the card with it. And then the next thing we're going to do is take this piece that is 1.5 inch shorter, and we're going to start by scoring it at 1.25 inches. So we'll make a score line there, and then just scoot it all the way over to the 5.25 inch mark and make another score line. Okay, so once you have your piece scored, then it's just a matter of folding on the score lines. So that 1.25 inch score line, I'm just going to fold that up. And then the one where I scored at 5.25, we're just going to fold it in half. So you're basically just making a little mini card here. And the first thing I'm going to do is just adhere this piece right down to the front. So this will just give us a little bit of color here on our card front. So I am making a top folding card. We're making a portrait style card. So the next thing I want to do is just cut a 4.25 by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock. So this is early espresso cardstock. It coordinates obviously with my designer paper. So all I'm going to do is just adhere this right to the card front. And so now we have created our little fun fold card. So to decorate it, you can add as many or as few embellishments and things as you want. I'm going to add a 3.75 by 5 inch piece of white cardstock just to the inside. And then I'm going to stamp a little greeting just right on the bottom. I'm going to use some early espresso ink. And I want my greeting to show right through here on the front of the card. So we'll just add that. And then I just used one of the paper butterflies just to add a little more decoration to the card. So I'm just popping this up with a couple glue dots. All right, so that's pretty cute, pretty simple. So the last thing you can do is you can take this 1.5 inch piece of pattern paper, the one that you cut off at the beginning when we started, and you can just glue it to the inside of the card just to add a little more decoration. And then, of course, it allows you to use up your scrap paper right away instead of having to save it. So now we just have a really cute little fun fold card, and it's very simple to create. Okay, so this is the portrait style card. And of course, you can create this exact same card, this same style of fun fold card, but you can do it in the landscape style. So instead of adhering your paper this direction on your card, you're going to adhere it sideways. But the measurements for creating it are exactly the same as what I showed you for this particular card. So this just gives you a side folding card, so it opens this direction. And then, of course, this is a top folding card, so it opens this direction. But the measurements, again, are identical for cutting and scoring your pattern paper. All right, so this third card design uses the exact same fun fold that I created with the pattern paper, except this time I added some additional folds. So this is how the card opens. So basically we are just going to be creating a Z-fold card, and we're going to be adding this pattern paper to the front flap of the Z-fold card. So it just kind of gives this card a wow factor. So let me show you how to make it. So you're going to start with the same piece of pattern paper. It's going to be 4 by 12. You're going to cut off 1.5 inches, and then you're going to score it at 1 1/4 and 5 1/4. And so you're going to create this the same way that I showed you before. So we'll just adhere this little flap down. And then instead of adhering this to just that 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock, we're going to adhere this piece to a regular size cardstock, and we're going to make a Z-fold card. So basically this is a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of cardstock, and I scored it at 2 3/4 and at 5.5. And so to create a Z-fold card, we're just going to fold it in half first, and we'll just burnish this fold. So basically without this score line, we just have a standard size card, a top folding card. So with this score line though, we can take this and fold it back onto itself and create a little Z-fold card. So we have our little Z-fold just by folding this backwards. And now we can take this fun fold section that we created from our pattern paper, and we're going to adhere it just to this front flap. When this part is closed, this is 5 1/4 by 4. So it's going to leave just a little bit of matting. You can see right around the edges here of that early espresso cardstock. So we just want to add glue basically right here, all along this inside section. And then we could take our fun fold and just lay it on top. And we'll give this glue just a chance to set up a little bit, and then I will show you this fun fold. All right, so that is the fun fold card, just kind of stepped up. So isn't that cool? I just love the wow factor that this card has. So let's go ahead and just add some decorations. I'll show you how easy it is and how quick it is to decorate this card. So I started with a little die cut shape that I created with the Wildflower Designs bundle. And so I just want to adhere it right on this front flap here. So I want to put glue on the left side, kind of in between these 2 points. And then we will just put that right on our card front. And I'll line up these points with this edge of the fun fold card. So that's how I decorated the front. Then I opened it up and I used up that 1.5 by 4 inch piece of designer paper right on the inside here. So I'll just decorate this side. And then I just created another little die cut shape just using that bundle. And this I just created from some white cardstock. And this will give us a really nice little frame for the inside. So we'll just add this over here. And then I just die cut a piece of the coordinating pattern paper. So I just used some additional paper that I had and created this little focal point for the center of the frame so that everything just kind of coordinates nicely together. So that's the inside section that's attached to the flap. And then you can open this all the way up and then just add some additional pieces on the inside. So I just cut a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of white cardstock, and I'm just going to use this on the inside. You can actually go 4 by 5 1/4 inches if you want. I just went a little bit smaller, but either size will work. And so that's basically your fun fold card. So you have the front, and then this opens up into just a really cool little design. So this is the original design that I created just with a different pattern paper. So you can see I used 2 different patterns here. And This one just gives you a little different look. So this is the third way that you can use that fun fold. You can just attach it to a Z-fold card base. And of course you can do it in the landscape style, or you can do it in the portrait style. So this is the portrait style card. Just a really fun little design and a great way to showcase your patterned papers. Okay, so there you go. Now you have 4 different ways that you can use this fun fold design in your card making. And if you enjoyed these card ideas, feel free to download the printable tutorial. You can find the link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave me a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the cards shared here today. Have a fun and creative day, my friends. Take care.